It's December 5th, and here's what we have on this week of Westford Cat News. The health department brought an expert on Ebola to the Blanchard School. Westford Academy's football team ended their year on a high note, and we take a look at the first birthday for a local business. All that and so much more on this edition of Westford Cat News. With fears of Ebola dominating the news, the Westford Health Department teamed up with Lowell General Hospital to share some information. The two groups held a presentation at the Blanchard School spotlighting Ebola and other contagious diseases, such as the enterovirus and the flu.
The flu is something that we see here in this area. Ebola, Ebola is concerning, and I understand that it's interesting, but here we're really dealing with flu season that's approaching.
The presentation was open to the public. The audience was made up mainly of nurses such as Arlene Sullivan.
Mostly interested in how the enterovirus D68 would transmit to an adult, because certainly if I had any of my adult employees that had children that had an active infection, would that make them predisposed to developing that and then bringing that into the workplace where I work and passing that on to fellow coworkers. But I learned that D68 has actually been around for quite a long time, and it's very active. It's just that, for particular this year, it's been affecting a lot of children that have underlying medical conditions, so it doesn't appear to be that much of a risk that would affect my particular practice.
More information on other health department programs is available on the town website. The Conservation Commission recently approved a community garden at a property they called the Day Parcel. Andrew Sylvia interviewed Agricultural Commission Chairwoman Elizabeth Almeida at the site for more on the story.
If I'm not mistaken, you're a professional farmer. How will this compare to what you do for a living? How will normal people be able to come here and do their own farming and gardening?
Sure. So the idea of community gardens is to give individuals an opportunity to grow their own food, and it's strictly for private use. So families or individuals will be able to get a small plot. We're thinking approximately 15 by 30. One plot might be that size. And then the family can grow food for their own consumption. That differs from what local farmers do, where we're growing food to sell to community members and where people can come shop and spend money with us.
We'll have more on this story as it develops. Westford Academy traveled to Acton, Boxborough for their annual Turkey Day Clash, and this year's Grey Ghost fans had plenty to be thankful for. Here's Westford Cat sports reporter Patty Stalker with more.
Thank you, George. Well, Westford Academy did have a lot to be thankful for this Thanksgiving, as the Acton Boxborough Colonials hosted the Grey Ghosts at Leary Field on Thanksgiving Day. It's a storied rivalry between WA and AB, with our boys in maroon and gray taking home the trophy only 3 times in the past 20 years. And the last WA win was back in 2010. Well, it looks like the Thanksgiving Day tables have turned.
The snowfall the night before didn't stop the game from going off, which was a good thing for Westford Academy. From the moment AB deferred possession to the Grey Ghost after winning the coin toss, the boys of WA didn't look back. They marched down the field starting at the Colonials' 29-yard line, getting first down after first down. Here, Connor Degenhart with a pass to Tommy Jacobson. Now a carry for number 31, Ben Cassidy. And again to Cassidy. This time it was a big risk at 4th and 11. Degenhart makes the pass. Cassidy makes the catch just before running out of bounds for another WA first down. WA on the scoreboard first as Cassidy runs it into the end zone. The extra point is good, 7-0 WA. AB retaliates, punches it into the end zone in the second quarter. Their kick is good. The score is tied at 7. Still the second quarter. Pass here, Degenhart to Jacobson. First down. Second and 10, Degenhart to Jacobson again. A beautiful 35-yard pass. There's a flag on the play, but it doesn't matter. The carry by Ben Cassidy is good as the Grey Ghosts move ahead 13-7. The kick is good, and that's how the game will end 14-7, with no points scored in the second half. Westford Academy defeats the rival Acton Boxborough Colonials and brings home the trophy, which they haven't done since 2010. A great celebration for the Grey Ghosts.
So congratulations to the Westford Academy Grey Ghosts varsity football team for beating those rival AB Colonials on Thanksgiving Day 2014. May the trophy sit comfortably for years to come in the halls of Westford Academy. Good job, boys. For Westford Cat Sports, I'm Patty Stalker. Back to you, George.
Thanks, Patty. Here's this week's health tip with Rekha Sharma.
Hello everyone, I'm Rekha Sharma, back with a new health tip for Westford Cat News. So today I'm going to talk about garlic. Garlic is also called Allium sativum. It helps to lower the high cholesterol via digestion through liver. It also helps in lowering the high blood pressure by dilating the blood vessels. It also prevents blood clots and strokes. It is antiviral, antibacterial, and anti-inflammatory and analgesic. It is highly recommended for people having rheumatoid arthritis. So add some garlic to your diet to get the benefits. Back to George. Thank you.
Westford is filled with kids who have a passion for robotics, and now they have their own new workshop right here in town. But that workshop just may become a place for dreamers of all ages. Our very own Andrew Sylvia has more in the story.
In recent years, younger children in Westford have excelled in the first LEGO League, a national robotics competition. Now those kids are graduating to higher levels of FIRST Robotics and need more space. Space they didn't have until two parents created the Creation Station, a workshop on Park Drive for builders of all ages. Nandu Valal is one of those parents who run the Creation Station as a side business.
The idea of Creation Station is just play, and we have all these tools and toys where kids can play and adults can conceive and think about and build something that's kind of like any idea they have, so they can design it and build it, and we kind of like want to be the enabler of that.
Saswat Mishra is the captain of Westford's first team, the Storm Gears. He's a 5-year veteran of FIRST, but believes things will be different now thanks to the Creation Station serving as a home base for the team.
We had to go over to a house of one of the mentors, and it was not nearly as large or as big. And as we expanded to such a great extent, and we're glad to have Creation Station sponsor and help these first teams.
The Creation Station opened over the summer, although only began welcoming members of the public in the fall. It still has limited hours, but Bilal hopes he and co-owner Chris Nichols can run the Creation Station full-time.
Hope so, someday. The thing is, there is a lot of need, in this day and age when, kids needs to be exposed to a lot of technology, and at the same time, we need to give them the skills to be future, inventors and creators, and that's our objective.
For Westford Cat, I'm Andrew Sylvia.
You can find out more information at their website at creationstationma.com. This month, Westford Academy is participating in a video contest for Project Purple, an organization that encourages students to be themselves, not to use drugs or alcohol. Westford Cat was on the scene helping students record a video for Westford Academy's entry in the contest. Let's take a look. There are 60 pledges from students so far to abstain from drugs and alcohol, with 15 to 20 students regularly meeting in Westford Academy's Project Purple group. More information can be found at their website at goprojectpurple.com. Recently, the Rodenbush Community Center hosted shaman Brad Hudson as he helped local residents find their power animals. For more, here's Andrew Sylvia.
Recently, area residents got a chance to dive into a trance and discover their power animals in an event held at the Rodenbush Community Center. Shaman Brad Hudson led the event.
I'm asking people to go to a land of non-ordinary reality. We live in a world of very solid substance, and we're quite set in our ways, and a lot of people don't believe in the lower worlds and the upper worlds and the compassionate helping spirits that reside therein. So I'm asking people to stretch their imaginations at first in order to get to these worlds. And once they get there and they meet their power animal, who is a compassionate helping spirit that gives them advice on their life and other very meaningful things happening in their life, once they find that, it's a tremendous life-changing experience.
Local resident Meg Coughlin participated in the event and found it to be a positive experience.
It was excellent. This is something that I've been interested in for a long time, and I think Brad certainly knows what he's talking about, and it's nice to have somebody for the first time kind of guide you through these things instead of just reading about it or, coming up with your own theories.
For Westford Cat, I'm Andrew Sylvia.
For more on Hudson, go to his website at littlefroghealing.com. Here's Town Manager Jody Ross with the Town Manager Update.
Hi, I'm Jody Ross, Westford Town Manager, and I'd like to update you on some of the things going on in town. This week, I presented to the Board of Selectmen and the Finance Committee the fiscal year 16 budget. We have a healthy budget this year after several years of declining revenues, and we actually have had some increased revenues with new growth and local receipts up in fiscal year 14. This helps us to fund all the needs for the budget for fiscal year 16. A couple of things, some specifics are that the school department will be receiving a 4.45% increase this year, and the town departments will receive a 3.1% increase. Our health insurance is pretty stable with last year, thanks to negotiation of good rates with Blue Cross Blue Shield. We're funding $4.2 million in capital requests. We have about $58 million in the next 5 years requested for capital projects, and we're able to fund a small portion of that. OPEB, which is other post-employment benefits, basically health insurance and life insurance for our retirees. Our funding is up to over $700,000 this year, and we are trying to fund that on as we accrue that liability basis. We're funding perchlorate remediation. If you recall, we have some perchlorate contamination at the highway garage and that surrounding neighborhoods. That all the water is safe at this point, but the DEP requires us to continue to remediate that problem. We're adding 2 employees for the first time in many years at the Parks and Grounds and Highway Department. They'll be in the spring and summer and fall in the Parks and Grounds, and in the winter they'll help plow at the Highway Department. We've had some increased demands in those departments, particularly the East Boston Camps maintenance is now going to be overseen by the Rec Department or the Parks and Grounds, and Highway certainly has had a lot of additional roads added to them through the years. I am proposing a deputy fire chief position, which will be a new position in the fire department. We have a chief now and about 39 firefighters. The deputy will help him in the operation of that department, and we're going to carve that position out of an existing firefighter position, so the incremental cost will not be that significant. I've added some to public buildings and to try to maintain our buildings. As I have mentioned in the past, we have a town facilities study, over 28 of our buildings, and we have lots of maintenance needs that we're trying to addressed. So those are the major changes this year in this budget, but our revenues are good, our reserves are good. We have the closest to a balanced budget that we have had since the year 2000, and I'm very pleased to present this over the next several weeks, months. I will be meeting with the Finance Committee and the Board of Selectmen to review all these budgets. It's all available on our website, westfordma.gov. A couple other things going on. I know plenty of people drive through what we call Minot's Corner. That's the intersection of Route 110, Boston Road and Carlisle Road. Right now, it's been a dramatic increase in lanes. I'm sure you've all noticed, and the lights are not really synchronized the way they will be in the future. Once this is done, which will be over the next couple of weeks, then you'll get through that intersection a lot safer and more efficiently than you have in the past. And the final pavement coat will be put down in the spring after we get through the winter. And by that point, we'll have our plantings, and it should be a wonderful intersection to help get traffic through our town quickly. One thing I wanted to mention is the Westford Business Association, which is a new association in town, met for the first time at the Regency last week. If you are a local business owner or a resident who has an interest in business, I would encourage you to look into that organization, because we have about 75 members now, and they're going to become very active in the future. A couple other things coming up. On December 6th, we have our leaf collection day. If you have leaves, you can get in touch with the town clerk's office to register. You put your leaves in paper leaf bags. You put a check, about $1.25 per bag on the bags, and Acme will pick that up as long as you register with the town clerk on December 6th. The pickup will be. And then on December 9th at the Selectmen's meeting, it's going to be an interesting meeting. We'll be discussing things like the town farm, which is one of our historic buildings, and it has a lot of renovation needs. What are we going to do with the rec department if we decide to take that on? There will be a discussion about the Rodenbush buildings, which also have significant needs, about $3 million worth of renovation needs. And there's a couple other issues, like whether the parking lot at the senior center needs to be expanded. So please stay tuned to that agenda. It should be a lively discussion, and I look forward to sharing that with you. So thank you very much, and this is again Jody Ross, Westford Town Manager, signing off.
Coming up is our very own Ira Keltz with great happenings going on in the town of Westford.
Hi, I'm Ira Keltz. Here are some things going on around town over the next few weeks. Come see Christmas trees of all types and sizes. The Festival of Trees will be at the Westford Regency until December 14th. More information on the event can be found at westford.com/funfest. Help light up the night as Westford celebrates Hanukkah. Donuts, dreidels, and music will accompany the 7-foot menorah. The event is sponsored by the Chabad of Neshoba Valley. For more information, call 978-399-0045. Former Boston Celtic and motivational speaker Chris Herron will return to the Stony Brook Middle School Auditorium on December 16th at 7:30 p.m. Herron will share his story recovering from drug abuse in a presentation sponsored by the Westford Parent Connection with help from Westford Academy, Westford Against Substance Abuse, and the Westford Health Department. Back to you, George.
The Fashion Truck on Main celebrated their first anniversary recently. Here's Andrew Sylvia for more on the story.
The Fashion Truck has been a mobile fashion staple in Boston for years. But recently the business celebrated the 1-year anniversary of its expansion to a storefront here in Westford. Westford native Emily Benson runs the Fashion Truck.
Being down in Boston is definitely a different experience. I feel like in the store it's a little more relaxed, it's low-key, I can help customers a lot more personally, which is kind of nice.
Julie Richardson drove all the way up from Newport, Rhode Island for the celebration.
Well, Newport's classy, but this place is chic. She has a lovely combination of eclectic but logical, pioneer but brilliant.
Benson loves having a home without wheels, but she thinks the business needs both the truck and the store on Main Street.
I think it has to be both. I mean, the Fashion Truck is really what made me famous, so to give it up would kind of be silly, you know, and I think the truck is still so fun, you know, people love the idea of it, and, you know, I love the truck, so it still gives me the option to like move around and, you know, try new places and discover new markets. But I think having the brick and mortar is nice. I mean, I have heat, I have a bathroom, you know, I get to just flick on the lights, I don't have to start a generator. So it definitely has its benefits to being in a brick and mortar.
For Westford Cat, I'm Andrew Sylvia.
You can find out more about the Fashion Truck at fashiontruck.com. Schools across Massachusetts face a new state law impacting expulsions, and Westford is no exception. At the school committee's December 1st meeting, plans were discussed on how Westford can comply with this new law, which requires most expelled students to receive some form of education. However, it's still unclear how much money will be needed to comply. School committee member David Keel believes this new mandate will require some trial and error.
The judge actually makes a ruling of which ultimately that's what will happen. Right. You're not going to know how it plays out. So I think if we build it in as a contingency, come together as a committee to decide what we feel is an appropriate level. By the way, that may be 55. You know, it could be 75, it could be 25, but I think that's the discussion. We could beat this drum over and over and over. And you know, we're just really all asking questions that none of us really know the answers to right now. And every school.
Keel also believes that Westford is unlikely to see a large impact due to the new law. There are always things going on at the J.V. Fletcher Library, including really big board games. Andrew Sylvia has more.
A game of Scrabble or checkers isn't a big deal, right? Well, it might be if the games are really big. Parents and kids get a chance to toy around with a few gigantic board games at the J.V. Fletcher Library during a recent teacher workshop that left Westford schools closed for the day.
Well, you know what? The kids have a day off from school, and it's a great day to visit the library and get some books. And when we got here, they were having this great event, which we're so psyched that they scheduled something for us to do on this beautiful day that the kids don't have school.
The program was just one of many held at the library for children of all ages.
This is a drop-in, and we try to make events that the kids are going to like for all ages, and on vacation weeks, no school days, all throughout the year.
For Westford Cat, I'm Andrew Sylvia.
And speaking of the J.V. Fletcher Library, renowned Boston investigative reporter Hank Philippi Ryan was at the library's annual meeting this month to talk about her new book, The Truth Be Told. We got a moment to chat with her, and here's what she had to say.
I'm the poster child for following your dreams at midlife. There's no question about it. When you hit the sort of middle of your life, there's sort of a tendency to decide that all the decisions have already been made, that your life is on the downhill slide. And I'm the complete proof that that is just not true. There is this whole second half of my life that I'm truly looking forward to. My husband and I don't celebrate the anniversary of the day we met. We celebrate the anniversary of the day before we met. And we call that You Never Know Day, because you never know what's around the next corner. And in this second half of your life, there are so many wonderful corners, and the universe is going to present you with so many wonderful opportunities. If not now, when? Just do it. And I can tell you exactly, as an author, where I got the ideas for every one of my books. I mean, I remember the goosebumpy moment when that idea came. Now, juggling the two careers is quite a task. I mean, I have to tell you that it's not easy, but I'm firmly convinced that we do what we love, that we make time for what we are obsessed with, we make time for our compulsions. I love being a reporter. I can't imagine not being a reporter, but I'm, sitting at my desk looking at that maple tree, thinking about the next chapter of my next novel. That is a joy that is unparalleled. So I love both things so much. I'm also a wife and a grandmother, and I have a garden, and I love to cook. I have an embarrassment of riches, and that's the reason I just keep going. I'm very organized, and my secret is I don't multitask. I know that sounds strange, but I do one thing at a time and do it as well as I can. So the story of Truth Be Told, very quickly, is a mortgage banker turned Robin Hood decides to manipulate people's mortgage records to keep families out of foreclosure, to make it look like they've paid. Murder victims are found in empty foreclosed homes. A man confesses to a cold case murder, a murder he may not have actually committed, but may have. And the reporter makes stuff up. And put that all together, a little reality and a lot of imagination, and that becomes truth be told. What's next for me is crossing my fingers. I just sent my next book, book 8, called What You See, Breaking News, to the editor, and I'm just heard from her within the day that she loves it. So that'll be book 8 in the Jake and Jane series, What You See, comes out next fall. And then what I do next is try to think of the next novel. So if anyone has a great idea for a story, please tell me. I can't wait to see what happens next. I had followed my dream. I had done what I always wanted to do. But of course, I shouldn't have cried when I typed the end, right? Because it wasn't the end at all. It was the beginning of this wonderful new second half of my life and career. And I'm so honored that you invited me here tonight to share that with you. Thank you so much for coming.
Westford Cat volunteer Patty Stalker stopped by a winery right here in Westford as part of her show 30 Minutes. Here's Patty with more on her trip.
Thank you, George. Well, with the holiday just around the corner, what better time to visit Aaron Knapp Cellars and our very own commercial winemaker right here in Westford. Local chemist and wine aficionado Noel Powell and I recently toured his winemaking operation on Carlisle Road, where he showed us both the art and chemistry behind making some of his award-winning wines.
So we're here with the red wines. We see all the grapes for red wine. What about white? I know that you make white wines as well.
Yes, white wines are a little quote-unquote easier to make. At least they require less time out here in the open. So basically, instead of red wines, you want to ferment on the skins to pull out all of that, the color, the aromatics, the tannins.
Yes.
Which are exactly the things you don't want in a white wine. So basically, we take care of all that by when the grapes come in, we crush them, and then immediately press the juice off the skins and throw the skins away.
Oh, interesting.
And then take the juice into a tank
Okay.
and ferment it in a tank.
So it takes, okay, so you're not fermenting it in here, you're fermenting it in there.
Yes.
And then it goes into the barrel. So does it take less time then to make a white wine?
It does. I mean, depending on the kind of white wine you're wanting to make, you can turn around a white wine. Like the type of Chardonnay that I make sees either little to no barrel aging time.
Okay.
Mainly because I'm going for a really crisp, clean, fruity style of Chardonnay. And you get that by not putting it in a barrel,
right?
By only doing it in stainless steel, and keeping all of those aromatic components in the wine.
That makes sense.
And so to do that, I mean, essentially that takes about somewhere between 6 to 7 months. Whereas a red wine, the entire process, including the barrel aging time, is anywhere from 18 months to over 2 years.
Wow.
Before it's ready to bottle.
To watch the full interview with Noel Powell and to learn more about this award-winning local winemaker, please tune into my show 30 Minutes right here on Westford Cat, or go to the Aaron Knapp website at www.aaronknappcellars.com. For Westford Cat News, I'm Patty Stalker.
Westford Cat News will return in 2015. In the meantime, make sure to stop by the Westford Cat Studios and record your very own holiday greeting. If you have a story idea or you want to volunteer on the show, drop us a line at westfordcat.org. Remember, don't just watch TV, make it. For all of us at the station, we want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next time.